Hi. I guess I'm more in the category of patient here than health practitioner. But at lunch I was talking with my chiropractor, and this conversation is really to feedback what I'm hearing so that you can correct whatever I'm getting that's wrong, and then maybe some other people too. But it seems that we have three spectrums here going in relation between a patient and a health practitioner. One spectrum is that there's physical things at one end through to spiritual or mental things at the other. And by that I mean, for example, if you're knocking your head against the wall and you stop, it gives you relief. That's a purely physical thing, at least you can describe it as purely physical. If you've got a headache and you take an aspirin and it gives you relief, that's probably a lot of that's some of that's physical too, perhaps. Okay?
It's all part of the action journey.
It's part of the action journey, right. Whereas if I have a belief that I can create within myself the wholeness that I need and go to sleep and wake up, as you say, next morning totally whole, that's a purely spiritual or mental healing process. So that each of us gets to decide or gets to imagine, gets to have the experience of, in part, physical things and in part, mental things.
We would stop beating our head on the wall, take the aspirin, and then do that.
Yeah, right. So that's a part of it, right? In fact, if I go to a chiropractor and my spine is out of alignment and she makes a change and I get relief, that's a physical thing. And that gives me some relief. So that's one of the three spectrums. The other spectrum is...
However,
yes.
Can you hold your place without losing it?
Yes.
We think it is a wonderful thing that she can bring you into alignment. We just want you eventually not to need to go back to get it again. In other words,
clearly,
she could bring you into physical alignment at the same time that you're working on your vibrational agility, until in time you would not go out of alignment again.
Yes. The second thing is, where am I on the belief scale that spiritual and mental things actually can have an impact? Am I over here this hardcore disbeliever that says this is all crap, you know, the only thing that ever happens is a result of physical atoms doing things, and aspirin works because it does this thing in your body and changes your physiology, and that's how it works. And it's nothing to do with belief systems or...
Well, you do believe that. You do believe that, but that's not wrong. In other words, certainly there has been enough scrutiny of the physical body, and science has come far enough that we are not for a moment disputing that those things do have effect. They do have effect.
Yes.
We just want you to understand that the effect is short term, and if the cause doesn't change, then the need for the application of the effect will come again and again and again and again and again and again.
Yes.
In other words, you're not wrong. That's like saying, where does the water come from? And you say,
it comes out of the tap.
I turn the knob and it comes out of the tap. And we say, that's exactly right. There's just more to the story.
Sure.
And we do not see your civilization or even your researchers in medicine working very hard to really understand the rest of the story.
No.
And until they do, then the application of the fix is going to, on the whole, be dissatisfactory to the applicators of it. In other words, physicians want to be of lasting help.
Sure. So there's the physical part and the mental part. That's the first spectrum. And there's the second spectrum, is the degree to which I believe that spiritual or mental things make a difference.
Well, now that's tricky. It is.
And that could be none, or could be, for most of the people here, probably pretty much 100%, right? That they believe that.
No, more like 70.
Okay. Well, good.
And if we were interacting with you and you were on the none end of it,
yes,
we'd give you a Band-Aid and we'd wish you well.
Yes.
And we would spend none of our valuable time with you because it would be wasted time.
Okay.
But if you were leaning at all in the direction of that's why we would love working with the terminally ill, because it's their last ditch effort.
Nothing to lose.
Usually they apply themselves more diligently.
Got it. Yes. Okay. So, and in fact, that brings to mind that when I went to my chiropractor, most of the work that she did initially was all bound up with finding out physically where I was. And she says today that she would spend more time now figuring out where I was on that spectrum mentally in order to maybe work differently with me than she had in the past.
Well, whether she knows it or not, she's always been intuitive. And so, and we really want to say that to so many of you. You have much more intuition going on even while you're doing your learned traditional dog and pony show. And you know that. Can't you just feel in your gut which way to go? Do you apply exactly the same process to everyone you see? Or is it a variable depending upon what just feels right to you? And so no one is applying only the specifics, even though there is a regiment in the governmental laws, in other words the hospital boards and the medical boards, that would like to hold you to a standard, but they can't. They'll never be able to. There's too much individuality going on and too much psychic awareness, too much intuition going on.
Okay.
So we think that she might consciously apply it a little differently, but we do not think that the outcome would have been all that much different.
Okay. Okay.
What do you think?
Yes, I think she will change the way she does her tests, I think. She can speak for herself later on, perhaps, and tell you. The third thing is, for those of us that believe in what you're telling us, right? And I pretty much 100% now. Intellectually, and I understand that I'm the creator of my own reality. There's no question about that. I'm a little dismayed sometimes at the reality I create, right?
But empowered just the same.
But empowered just the same. So the third spectrum is the degree to which I can do the work, your words, the work of creating the right reality out of this soup that I'm, experiencing from day to day.
Well, the key to that, and we speak this powerfully to you where you are, and we speak it generally to everyone, but we really want you to hear it. The key to what you're reaching for is making peace with where you are. You're hard on yourself because you create your own reality, and you want to create an increasingly dynamic reality. But you don't do that by feeling lack about the reality that you are creating. That's forking off in the wrong direction. In other words, we've been offering an analogy very recently about every subject is two subjects, and what is really wanted is on one end of the stick and what is really not wanted on the other end. Wellness, illness, prosperity, poverty, clarity, confusion. So when you pick up this subject stick, it's vibrating wherever you last left it.
Yes.
So you are where you are. Everyone is where they are on any number of subjects. So as you understand that off in that corner out there in the distance is what you really want, and off in that corner out there in the distance is what you really don't want, and in every moment you're marching towards something because you can't stand still. You're offering a vibration, but where's the vibration taking you? Toward what you want or toward what you don't want? So let's say that you are hard on yourself and you're sort of grumbling about where you are. Grumbling, not necessarily an accurate word, but you're disappointed and aware that you're not where you want to be. At this stage of life, I wanted to be even further along. Sure. And as you fork in the direction that if you keep forking, you're really going to get to a place that you don't want to be. So you just stop in your awareness and you try to correct your direction by choosing something that feels a little better. So you can get a run going where you get on sort of a rampage of improved feeling about a subject, and then something will happen that will sort of take you this way. But now you're more aware of it, so you don't go very far before you begin going this way. And then you meet up with other people who are in agreement with you, so now you can really get a run going toward what you want. And then something happens on a national level that causes you to go this way a little bit. And then that hooks in with things that you've thought all along about the government and so on. And so you really go this way for a while. But then you get sort of tired of the way you feel, and you begin seeing symptoms of it not being good for you. And so you look at it again and you begin going this way. And before you know it, you're just deliberately listing in the direction, we say, fork off in the direction of what you are wanting. And when you are, and in every moment you've got that choice. In every moment that you are consciously focused, or unconsciously focused, in every moment you have the opportunity to move towards something wanted or less wanted. And the more you are aware of this, the more you take opportunity, no matter what the subject, to lean in the direction that feels the best to you. What begins to happen is you begin to establish a consistent vibration, a consistent improvement in vibration. One little fork in the other direction causes your whole point of attraction. And law of attraction brings you different things, different memories, different comments from others, different drivers in traffic, different physical sensations. And so when you deliberately are reaching for improvement in the way you feel, it is not very long before you have significant difference in the outcome. But the key to it is, here's where I am, and that's fine. Because from that attitude, you can easily fork in the direction that feels better. But when you say, here's where I am and it sucks, very hard to do anything other than fork this way.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
One last question.
Turns out they were clapping about you leaving.
There are things that to me are on the opposite end of physical. For example, someone who says they do energy work where there's not even any touching involved. This is a totally mental thing rather than the Band-Aid, which is the totally physical thing. And just a point of clarification, am I right in that? I'm not saying that it's wrong.
Well, here's what's happening, and we think you'll enjoy this because we've been waiting to say this for a long time.
Okay.
The energy work that they're doing is in their own energy, which makes them then a more powerful influencer of the other.
Okay.
In other words, that's what we were talking about just a moment ago, that when you take the time to align your energies, what begins to happen is you hold them as your object of attention while you are in clear connection with source energy, which doesn't thrust energy toward them that zaps out the bad stuff. What it does is make you a more powerful vibrational frequency that if their vibration is anywhere near it, they're more likely to have sympathetic vibration that causes, in other words, have you ever been around someone who was so joyful that you just got joyful being around them? Esther has friends that she laughs when she thinks about them because she has so much fun when she's with them, you see. And so that's what's going on. It is the alignment of their energy which makes them influential. It's the power of influence that is present there, not the power of asserting energy.
Thank you.
One who is in alignment is more powerful than millions who are not. So when you take the time in your 15 minutes that you're not with your client to get yourself into alignment, now as they enter your sphere and you're in alignment, you have the ability to activate within them that which is activated in you. But let's say that you are focused upon what you want for them and then focused upon what they've got going. Now you've got an activation of both of those things, which makes you an influencer of both of those things. And when they walk in and they've only got half that vibration going, really, then you amplify the part of the vibration that you didn't mean to amplify, and that's why they come back year after year after year after year. In other words, you get together and you co-create their illness.
Okay.
Really good.
Got it. Thank you.
Good time? Good time for a segment of refreshment.